Easy people, welcome back to my channel at Big Steve MCFC. The season is upon us. First game this Sunday, Charity Shield, Manchester City versus Arsenal. Nobody better to represent Arsenal than my good friend Curtis Shaw. How are you doing, mate?
I'm good, bro. Appreciate the intro and always looking forward to talking football with you, Steve, mate. Always looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's the I don't know about you, but pre-seasons, I just get a bit aggy, me. I'm like, my missus is making me do stuff I don't want to do. I've got to go around markets. I've got to fix things that I've been putting off all through the season and that. And yeah, I mean, you was out in the States, I believe, was you?
Yeah, I went on the tour, so that gets me out of, the things around the house and that. And obviously they went to some good cities as well, New York, LA and stuff. It was a great tour, to be fair. So yeah, it was a good little break for me, that.
Nah, it's good. Listen, it's good to see, mate. It's good to see. Well, Manchester City and Arsenal, me and you have known each other for a few years.
Yeah.
In the early days, I came on your channel, you've been on mine, and we spoke about Arsenal. I spoke about trusting the process, trusting Arteta. Some people agreed with me, some people didn't agree with me. Last season, mate, big season for you, really. Didn't end in silverware, but as far as Arsenal as a football club, it's been completely different from what you've been used to the last few seasons. I mean, how did you see it going last season? Obviously disappointed not to win the league, but you've got to be happy with it, with the growth and the progress of Arsenal, surely to God.
It was bittersweet last season, Steve. So when the season finished and you calm down, you look at it and you go, okay, we made huge steps forward there. And you do have to take positives out of that. It was so difficult how, you did it to us so late in the day. If you'd have been top with 15 games to go and we never got near you could have dealt with it. But, we were within 7, 8 games, and then it just all started crumbling and you got better and better as you seem to do. So it was frustrating. It was frustrating, but now it's all calmed down. Listen, you've got to, as an Arsenal fan, sit there and say, you're arguably one of the best club teams we've ever seen. You've just won the treble. So if you're going to lose to anyone, at least, lose out to such a quality side. And we saw with Liverpool, they had to just be there year after year after year until eventually they managed to get one of them off you. I think it's very difficult for a team to just come out of nowhere and win the title ahead of you. They've got to sort of maybe finish second a couple of times, and then maybe there'll be a year they get a chance. So it was bittersweet, but overall we have to be happy with the steps forward that we're making.
I mean, I don't think anybody expected Arsenal to start like that and be involved like that. I think the signings of Jesus and Zinchenko were massive. I think the mentality changed. But all season, I'm quite confident with City. I've been in these title races with Liverpool.
Yeah.
I was trying to tell people, look, you can run away with it before Christmas all you want. But the business end of the season, as I call it, the last 12 games is where shit hits the fan. And people was like, well, we've won 20 odd games already. So this, but they didn't understand what I was saying, because I've been in them races where we had to win 14 straight games, no draws, to win the league. And we did. And we beat Liverpool by a point.
Yeah.
And I just thought, if we can keep hold of Arsenal's coattails to the end, the pressure that I, as a fan, feel, and the players must feel, is so intense. You literally don't enjoy football anymore. It's like you go to the game, you win, it's relief. If you draw, it's the end of the world. And what I was trying to say to people was, looking at Arsenal, they've got individual players all over the pitch. They're playing good football. But that end of the season, I don't think they're going to be able to cope. And that's when I said the shark thing outside the Emirates, when I said there's blood in the water, there's a big blue shark behind you, because I thought I need to crank a little bit of pressure up on the content creators as well, because they were getting a bit of a head of steam. AFTV and all you boys was getting a bit giddy, and I thought that could help Arsenal. When you see the fan base going in the right direction, it could help. But when I went around the Emirates that night, I seen a 50-50 split. I could see 50% who was like, nah, we're going to win the league. And I could see 50% that were really, really fragile, thinking City's coming. But I just believe that you've got the squad, you've got the players, you've got the manager. but the mentality was lacking near the end. And what I mean by that is, it was like I could sense it that if we put it on them, then they're going to fall. And to lose 12 points in like the last 10 games is like, that's just not good enough to win the title. And that's what I think let you down.
And that's where the frustration is for me. It's like, okay, we lost to City at the Etihad, but you know, to draw with Southampton, to lose to Forest, to draw with West Ham after, you know, winning, to be 2-0 up at Anfield and end up nearly losing. You know, those are the performances for me. I never said publicly anywhere that I felt we were going to win the league, because I always felt there was a calmness about Man City that, you know, they were just lurking like, listen, if you slip, we're going to be there. And then when Saliba was injured, our defense just went to pot at the end of the season, which is crazy that we were so reliant on him. But when you're bringing in Rob Holding, you know, when you've lost the centre-back, you can bring in Laporte, or you can put Ake at centre-back, who I thought was brilliant last season. We're bringing in Holding. So I always felt with Arsenal, we had a good team. I don't think we had the squad depth last season. You know, when Jesus got injured, Eddie Nketiah came in, he did all right, but he's not, you know, you're bringing in Alvarez, who's won the World Cup and stuff. So that's what they've got to address this summer, that we haven't just got a good 11, we've got a good 14, 15, 16. So, yeah, last season was, like I said, for me, it was a little bit bittersweet, because there felt like there was an opportunity to nick that title away from you, you know, because in the end, you've won it, obviously, but it felt like if we should have beaten Forest away, we should have beaten Southampton at home. It could have at least gone to the end, where in the end, we kind of just handed it over to you. You won it with 3 or 4 games to spare. So it's a big learning curve, but I hope we get that opportunity again, because there's no guarantee you get that opportunity for a few years.
Just speaking about the Arsenal fan base, obviously I know a lot of Arsenal fans, and good and bad and crazy. And do you think they heap a bit of too much pressure on the boys when it goes well? Do you think they get excited? I get accused, me. Steve, let us be excited. Steve, let us dance in the street. But I just think if Man City fans was dancing in the street, if Man City fans was printing T-shirts at Christmas, Manchester City fans was talking like that, and we lost the league like you did, I would be able to open my DMs in the morning. And then, but this season, I think the City fans have let Arsenal fans off the hook a lot. I don't think we give them enough. But I just said to an Arsenal fan before on a chat, I said, look, you guys just need to relax, man, because it's all right getting excited, but nothing's handed out in April. You know what I mean? Nothing's handed out in January. You've got to, and it rubs off on the players. And what I mean by that is, if Manchester City go 2-0 down at home, you do not see that crowd panic. That crowd does not move. They keep focused what we're doing, because we know that we've got it in the locker to go and do it. If Arsenal win the league, the mentality of the whole club has got to change then, because you've done it. You've seen it. You know what it's like. The players know what it's like. And it's like, we've had a couple of... I come out of Nottingham Forest last season, 1-1.
Yeah.
And I got in the car and I drove home on my own. And I always have this feeling in my chest when I know this team's ticking. Because you go every game, you sort of feel a part of it, and you feel it. And I didn't feel it for the first time in years. And I thought that we're a bit disjointed, and Haaland, it wasn't coming off. And I thought, Arsenal are smashing everyone. We're not. We take 1 step forward, 2 steps back, 2 steps forward, 4 steps back. And I was like, I didn't want to go publicly and say it on my channel because everyone would panic. But I was privately, don't think we've got it in us to do it. Wow. And then Cancelo left. And then the charges came out. And then Pep did that press conference. And then they wheeled me out on Sky Sports, tried to have me over with that. And I was like, right, it's everyone against us now. And you know what? The whole club just galvanised as one. The players, the fans, Pep Guardiola. And we said, basically, fuck everyone else. We're having it. And since that turning point then, Manchester City just went on like a madness. And Pep devised his system with a flat back 4. Haaland started scoring mad goals. We just looked powerful. We were going away from home in the Champions League, getting a draw, not losing, not forcing it, bringing them back to the Etihad, smashing Real Madrid, smashing Bayern Munich, and then it just changed. And then obviously what happened. But I think pre-season wise, I think you've had a good pre-season. You've played plenty of games. There's a lot of minutes in the legs of players, but the signings you've made, Rice, Timber, Havertz, the goalie now if he comes. Do you think them signings are going to take Arsenal to the next level? Or do you think that's more about adding bodies to the squad?
I think with Rice, you definitely expect him to, drastically improve our midfield, especially when you've paid that kind of money. I think Timber surprised a lot of people, but it is pre-season. I don't like to get carried away with pre-season performances, but he looks a very good player. Havertz, I've said before, I think it's one of the riskiest signings that Arteta's ever made as manager. To spend 65 million, considering he cost 75, he's been there 3 years and hasn't done the business there. And they've only lost 10 million on him. I think Chelsea must have been thinking, that's unbelievable business. So my problem with Havertz is he's not a great striker and he's not a great midfielder. So what do you do with him? You're trying to kind of play him, in an in-between position. You're not actually a centre mid, but you're not a striker. You're just floating in between. Time will tell with that one. The keeper, I think Ramsdale has done well, but I think there's a little bit of arrogance in his game at the moment. He knows he's got no competition. He knows he can make 2 or 3 mistakes and still get picked.
That happened with Edison. Edison was the same. And what happened was when they brought in Ortega, Edison knew that Zach Steffen was never taking his shirt. When he brought in Ortega this season, it's upped Edison by another 10%, in my opinion. And they've both been phenomenal goalkeepers. And I think that's a shrewd move by Arteta. That's a Pep move where you think, all right, I can see you in training, realising that you're the dog's bollocks, but bang. And Ramsdale will be worried. He'll be worried now thinking, shit, this guy's on my case. And then that guy will come in and think, I can take this guy's shirt, man. And that'll be good. So I rate that. But the Declan Rice signing, what you were saying before, for that kind of money, he's got to add something different to that midfield, something different from Partey, something different from Odegaard, Xhaka. Obviously, he's left. But what alarmed me a little bit was when you played Man United pre-season and people were like, they kicked us off the park and we were a bit soft. Yeah. And I'm thinking, you don't really want to be saying that too loudly because there's a lot of teams in this Premier League that can't beat Arsenal playing football, but they'll definitely try and kick shit out of them. Do you worry about that? Do you think you need somebody else in there with a bit of grit? Or was that just a pre-season one-off when you think Declan Rice might be that man that'll put a few challenges in and rattle a few?
Do you know in that game, Steve, we played Havertz and Odegaard as 2 number 8s and we played Rice as a 6 by himself. And Havertz didn't mix it physically at all. And Odegaard is not that kind of player. So Rice was basically on his own trying to defend. Then the 2 games after that, obviously Rice and Partey have played next to each other and we looked a lot more solid. So for me, this is the thing. We've spent 65 million on Havertz, but I don't think he's in our best 11 at the moment because I think Partey and Rice is a solid base to work from. You then play Odegaard just in front, let him float. You've obviously got Martinelli, Saka and Gabby Jesus through the middle. So I'm not really that worried about the physical side of things. I think Gabriel and Saliba are solid. I think Timber's physical. I think Rice and Partey are strong. I think for me, I've said it all pre-season. My worry is the striker position. I know obviously we signed Gabby from you, and like you said, he lifted the mentality. But I think City fans would probably tell you, and I'm sure you'll tell me. Listen, when Aguero left, I think every fan outside of Man City thought, that's Jesus. He's going to be your striker. And he wasn't. You played him on the right. You played Sterling, false 9, Foden. Clearly, there's something about Jesus that's not quite there. He's not. I don't think he's got that killer instinct.
He wanted to play on the wing for City. He moaned. He wanted to play on the wing. The Aguero, he was never no Aguero. He was never no number 9. And I said to Arsenal fans, what you get with Jesus, you're not going to get 25 goals a season. You're just not. But you're going to get a lot of fucking pressing, a lot of running, a lot of hard work. He's a different kind of forward. Yeah. But he's injured again now. And you're going to be left with Ede or Havertz up front.
Oh. Or, well, they're talking about even Trossard as like a false 9. But, yeah, Jesus, I mean, he was out for 3 months last season with his knee. And then he's done his knee again, apparently. I mean, he's only out for 2 weeks. But, you know, it's like knee injuries, ankle injuries, they're reoccurring. And it's a worry for me. I would have liked to have seen us go for Ivan Toney. I've said it for a while. I know a few people who know him. I think he would have jumped at the chance, but you know, this ban has put him out. It's put him out of the equation. So I don't think we are going to sign another striker. So we've got to hope that we can kind of get goals by committee, that the wingers get 15 each and Odegaard gets 15, maybe Jesus gets 15, and kind of do it like that. So I think we've improved. I think our squad's better. Just to go back to your question, I'm not sure yet whether those signings take us to the next level. And the next level is you really overtaking you. And I think I would still say we needed a game changer in there. You know, like when you signed Haaland, everybody knew like this is going to take you to a next level. He's a monster. I'm still not sure whether we've signed a player of that level, but I think we've got a better squad than we had last year.
Looking at the City squad, obviously we won the treble. Gundogan, gone. Big miss. Captain.
Yeah.
Fantastic player. I was at City the other day working and they put a highlight stream on of Gundogan. And I nearly was crying, mate, because you forget some of the shit that he did. And so he's massive. Riyad Mahrez, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We bring in Kovacic. I believe that my problem was, you look at Mahrez and Gundogan's goals and assists, and there's a lot there. Kovacic doesn't bring the Gundogan factor for me. Kovacic is, in my opinion, going to be an enforcer like Rodri, because Rodri played too many games. Calvin Phillips, he doesn't trust him to come in late in games and see the games out. Kovacic, I think he does. But Phil Foden's going to play centre mid this season, so he's going to be the Gundogan role. So I think Phil can hit them numbers that Gundogan's got. I think he can. Problem is the wide right. We've got Bernardo. He's probably going to play there, but I don't think he likes playing there. We need another winger. Today we've signed Guardiola. In my opinion, he's young, he's hungry, he's aggressive. He's a Premier League centre-back. He's very raw. I've seen him get ripped apart off Messi. I've seen him dominate Haaland in Leipzig and then get destroyed off Earl back here. I think he's not going to be a starter at the beginning. I think Guardiola's 21. I think he's going to come into it and I think he's going to end up all right. But I think City need a wide man because we're looking very light out there. You know what I mean? And what do you think? Do you think City have lost a bit because of Gundogan and Mahrez, or do you think they're going to be all right?
Oh, man. Gundogan, for me, I always said, I think is one of the most underrated players probably in world football. He's absolute world class. And you saw that last season. Outstanding on the ball. Some of them goals he scored, that one at Everton, the little like knee and volley. He's anyway, he's a great player. Mahrez a great player. I do think you need a winger. My favourite Man City team was actually the Sané Sterling one because you was electric. I know Pep changed from that and, you know, Grealish, these guys keep the ball probably better than Sterling and people like that. But I do think you need a winger, definitely a right winger. Because, you know, Bernardo likes to drift inside, don't he, and kind of get into them spaces. I think you could do with a natural right-sided player. I saw you was being linked with Elise and things like that. It's difficult, isn't it? Because are you going to go for a top right winger and move Bernardo out of the team or in a different position? Or are you just going to get a young player who maybe sits behind Bernardo and just bides his time? That's the problem. I heard you say something. I think I was listening to Terry's show and you was mentioning, was it Dembele? I think you was mentioning. I know he's gone to PSG now.
I think last week there was a conversation. I know somebody that works with a team, and there was a conversation between Barcelona about Cancelo, and Dembele was mentioned and maybe trying to get the deal over the line. And I do believe that Pep spoke to him, but I don't think Dembele's the kind of winger that he wants. No. And then, like you mentioned it before, he likes this ball retention sort of wide man now, who hugs the line, doesn't go on the overlap and whip crosses in and waste it. He likes to keep the ball moving side to side. And it's very frustrating to watch when you've got one of the best strikers in the world in the middle and you've got someone like Riyad who will trap the ball, and instead of whizzing the ball in first time so Haaland can get across his man and smash it in, he takes 16 touches, beats the man 5 times, and then passes it to Rodri in centre midfield, who then pass it to Grealish. And Grealish passes then into Rodri. Rodri goes back out to Mahrez, and Haaland's made 6 runs, and there's no one's even thrown it in. But that's the way we play. We can't argue with it. So he did mention it, that Pep said, we're not going to replace Riyad because we can't. We're going to bring in somebody different to Riyad. Now, I believe we will make a signing. Maybe something that comes out of left field, someone that we don't expect.
Yeah.
We just sold another kid today, Carlos Borges, to Ajax for 17 million quid. He's never kicked the ball in the first team. The guy scored 30 odd goals for the EDS. He's a lightning. He's a rapid winger. But Pep don't want that.
Yeah.
We had a striker, Maboud, who we signed from Rangers, scored 20 odd goals. He's gone. They've made about 60, 70 million this summer alone off academy players. But
sold half your youth team, ain't you? I saw like loads of your youth players have been sold.
Yeah, because what happens is our under 18s, they play under 23s. So they're always a level higher.
Yeah.
And what happens is with Manchester City, our under 23s have won the league 3 times on the trot. The under 18s have won the league 3 times on the trot. But they're good enough to play in the Premier League or the Championship, but they're not good enough for us, if that makes sense.
I get you, yeah.
So you can't keep them sat in an under 23 because they're not going to develop. They're too good.
No.
We're beating teams 12-0 in the elite development squad. How good's that? That's no good to nobody. So what we're doing is we're either selling them cheap, getting a buyback clause and a sell-on clause, or we're giving them away free, but with a higher sell-on clause. So if we drop a bollock, like a bit with Romeo Lavia, 14 million, and then we've now got a 20%, and we can match the bid, and we've got a buyback in 2024. Southampton got relegated. We didn't expect that. He's going to go to Liverpool. We're going to get 20%, and it is what it is. But there's a lot of kids. James Trafford, the goalkeeper, England under 21 keeper, gone to Burnley, 20 mil. Yeah. Shea Charles, centre-back, Southampton, 15 mil. Borges, gone to Ajax, 17 mil. This academy is ruthless, mate. The players, you've never seen anything like it. But, yeah, it's just mad at the minute there. But we're doing all right. But this season, the big worry for Manchester City and the fans is a bit of a hangover, a bit of a drop-off.
Yeah.
We've won the treble. We're at the top of the mountain here, and we're struggling to stay there. Everyone's throwing stones. We just don't want to fall off. So I think we're just intrigued to see the season start and just the level of performance. We might not win the Charity Shield. We lost last year. I come out of Leicester's ground. They were telling me, Darwin Núñez, this, Darwin, Haaland missed a sitter and all that. Haaland scored 52 goals and we won the treble. The year before that, we lost to Leicester in the last minute. We still won it. So for me, it's not I don't take much from the game other than fitness and performance level. Burnley Friday night is where my lads have to turn up. Same with you with Forest.
Definitely.
You've got to beat Forest. Get off to a good start.
Yeah.
But what about the Charity Shield?
Yeah.
Is it's at Wembley. Is it a serious game, or is it more when you're a City level and you're Arsenal level, it's more about seeing where you are against each other? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's an interest. I think as Arsenal fans, we're looking at it maybe a little bit more serious because, we felt that pain that you inflicted on us last season. Do you know what I mean? In the league. So we're looking at any opportunity to just try and, nick something off Pep or give him something to worry about. It's one of them, innit? Like you said, I remember you losing that game to Liverpool last year, and I remember that, Darwin Núñez scored, and ultimately it's about what you do in the league. I'd rather beat Forest next week than beat Man City this week. No point beating City then drawing with Forest. I hope we win. Obviously, I hope we perform. We've chopped and changed so much in pre-season. I actually haven't seen our best 11 on the pitch at any stage in pre-season, which has concerned me a little bit. But yeah, like you said, it's more, I want to see the sharpness in the team. I want to see, the football and the style of football kicking it. I hope we win the game. You hope you win the game, but it's not the be all and end all. You know what? To be honest, from an Arsenal point of view, this is a strange Community Shield for me, because I think it's the first time in a while where we haven't won a trophy and we're in the Community Shield. You're actually going to have the FA Cup and the Premier League trophy on your side. Usually we're the FA Cup winners. So it's a strange game. Will Pep go full strength? Will Arteta go full strength? I don't know. I think, listen, you just want to see a good performance and hope that your team wins, but it's not the be all and end all. But of course, I'd like to see Arsenal get the better of you, especially at Wembley as well. It'll be 80,000 sellouts still, won't it?
No, it's good. It's good, mate. I'm looking forward to it. I'm working the game for City in the pre-match and the after-match. They dropped that on me a little bit. I was me and Turkish are going to Club Wembley. We're going to have a nice day out. Me and Turkish, bit of friendly banter, bit of hospitality on me. And then bang, City, can you just work the pre-match? Yeah. Now can you work the aftermatch? So 15 minutes from the end, I'll be running down them stairs at Wembley trying to get on the pitch to get to where I'm supposed to be going. So, but no, I can't moan, mate. I can't moan. No. I'm living the dream, man.
Of course. Do you know what? This year for me, I think you said the word, it's intriguing. Everyone's sitting there because every year you always had that Champions League to chase. So even if you won the league, won the FA Cup, it was like they still... And now we're kind of hoping as opposition fans, like, are they full now? Have they had everything? Have you got that same hunger anymore? I know, listen, Pep will drive that into you, because I heard an interview where he was saying he wants you to become one of the biggest teams in the world. And to do that, you have to win multiple European trophies. But it'll just be interesting, how the team responds. I still think you're the favourites for... You're probably still the favourites for the league and the Champions League, because I haven't seen anybody else strengthen enough to think that they're going to overtake you. So it's going to be interesting.
Our fans are going a little bit mad because of this lack of signings. What they need to realise is we won the treble. You don't go and buy 6 or 7 players for a treble winning team. You tweak 1 or 2, maybe. And that's what, a lot of the younger generation, they love transfers. I was the same when I was a kid. You love transfers. You're on it every day. And with social media now and links and that, it just gets in your mind. But I'm an old man now. So in football terms, I feel like in football years, I'm about 105 after last season. So, you know what I mean? 60-odd games last season, home and away, was hard work. Come on. But I've got the bug again. You know what I mean? I can't lie. I love the Premier League and I love the 38-game season, and I love the end of the season when you lift it and the relief and you look back and you think, wow, what a season. Home, away, Monday nights, driving here, loads of tales. But the Champions League touched me a little bit different, like Istanbul, Nevidad Street, the scenes and the feeling I got. I want that feeling again. I can't lie. It's Wembley this year. I want the feeling again, man, at Wembley. I want that feeling again. And I'm just looking forward to the season. I'm just looking forward to Sunday. I'm looking forward to the banter, AFTV, you guys, we all have it. But I'm going to put you on the spot and I'm going to say, well, I'm not going to put you on the spot because I know you're not going to do that. But surely to God, this season, you've got to go and win something. I'm not saying you're going to go and win the league, but a trophy. The money you spent over the years now, you got an FA Cup. The money you spent now, the levels you've seen from last season, FA Cup, good run in the Champions League, title running, you've got to win something for me.
100%. And I have this debate a lot with Arsenal fans. Say, listen, the pretty football, great. Better squad, great. Top 4, brilliant. Back in the Champions League. You've got to lift trophies. That is what defines a manager, how successful he is. He's got to win things. I think I read a report. He spent over 600 million now in 4 years. And he won the FA Cup in his first 6 months when he was a new manager. So this is his team. It's his squad. He signed loads of players. I want to see Arsenal win a trophy this year. And it's going to be a testing year for him because he's never had to do Champions League. It's very different when you're playing Europa League on Thursday. You can make 9 changes and win the game and rest everyone for Sunday. Now you're going to be playing Barca Madrid on Wednesday and you might have City or Liverpool on Sunday. So this is going to be a big test of Arteta this year. But I agree, we've got to win a trophy this year.
Well, last season when you went out of all them cup competitions, I went on shows. The Arsenal fans said, we're going to win the league because we've only got one game a week and you're playing in every competition. And I said, that's the worst thing. And they went, what do you mean? I went, you want to be playing regular, because if you lose and you've got a game on the Wednesday, you put it right, you carry on moving. You lose on the Saturday, you've got a full week of that in your mind, all different scenarios, under-training, over-training. And Gail Clichy told me that. Gail Clichy said to me in an interview, he said, Steve, he went, the worst thing that happened to Arsenal was going out in them competitions. He said, when you're going for a league title, you need momentum. You need them games in midweek where you can forget the league and just express yourself. Get a good 90 minutes under your belt. You come in on the Thursday, you're refreshed. You come in on the Friday, you're refreshed. You get a massage, bang, you're in on the Sunday, and then you've got another game. And when he broke it down to me from a player's perspective, I thought, he's right. And I always talk about rhythm. And Man City, people was going on as if Manchester City have never been in these competitions before. Every year we're in them all. We're in the late stages of them all. But I think people got carried away. I am looking forward to the season. I believe Arsenal are going to be stronger. I think City will be, Chelsea will be, United will be. I think it's going to be tough. But Charity Shield Sunday, give me a prediction. I'm going to say 2-1 City type game.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm going to go the other way. Obviously, I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal. Purely because as well, I don't know what Pep's going to do. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if you made a lot of changes or you went full strength. You just never know with this guy, do you? So, but Jesus is out for us, which is a big, big blow because he obviously would have been fired up for it. City at Wembley. Now we're going to have Trossard or Havertz or Eddie Nketiah up front, which is not the same level as Jesus. And Zinchenko's out as well. So actually the two City guys are out. Maybe it was an inside job from Pep, you know.
Yeah, we give you last season, but you're out of this one.
Yeah, you'll be out of this one. But I'll go for 2-1. But listen, it could. I think it'll be a tight game, however it ends. I don't think either side will go gun ho. I don't think there'll be loads of goals. But I'm just looking forward to the game. I'm going to be honest. As an Arsenal fan, I'm excited. Community Shield, Champions League this year, new signings. There's a lot to look forward to, but yeah, we need to lift silverware.
Did Cecil not ask you to get in that dance video outside the ground for the rice paper?
Listen, keep me out of that. Yeah, I'm a little bit more. No funny t-shirts, no dance videos. But it's all for the content, isn't it? You know, Cecil.
No, it is, man. Nah, man, he's funny, man. He's a funny guy. Listen, Curtis, it's always a pleasure, mate. We could talk football all day, me and you.
Yeah, man.
I wish you all the best on Sunday. It's going to be a great season. No doubt our paths are going to cross. AFTV, your channel, whatever, match previews. And where can everyone find you, mate?
Yeah, Curtis Shaw TV, daily streams and watch-alongs and the tours and all of that stuff. So, yeah, appreciate you having me on. Keep doing your thing. Great to see you working with the club as well. And, no better Man City fan that I've worked with, to be honest.
No, I appreciate that, mate. I mean, you've always got on. I love your opinion on Arsenal and that. And listen, mate, may the best team win. And no doubt this season is going to be a good one. Yeah. Easy people, see you soon. Make sure you hit a like, subscribe, and go and follow Curtis Shaw.